Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 10 Count Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah!
Starring myself, Kyle Crosby, as well as my broadcast partner, Michael Malley, aka Maggle. And today we have several pretty good topics to talk about. The first thing I want to bring up, though, is do you think they could have any more commentators on SmackDown? Oh my God, there's 4 of them.
What?
Every time I watch SmackDown, it just seems like they add a whole new commentator to the mix.
It's so insane. It's not necessary. It seems as though, like, back in the old days, it was 2. It was Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross, or it was Taz and Michael Cole. Now you have to at least have 3 commentators. If you could remove one from
They should get rid of Otunga and Phillips.
You don't like Otunga?
Don't like Otunga or Phillips. All they need are JBL and Morrow.
I like
JBL
Morrow.
is hilarious and Morrow is amazing.
Just bring back Taz.
There was this thing that happened on Raw that I want to hear your opinion on. What the fuck is going on with Emmalina? Now she's gonna go back to Emma. What is this? Is this a big troll?
I think it is. I think
A
it's.
huge troll just to go back to Emma. And
I kind of like it.
I love Emma. I'd rather Emma than Emmalina. I don't like that whole the fashion gimmick. You know, it might be me being old school, but I don't really care for the fashion gimmick.
Here's the cool thing about this is that you have this female wrestler that started, like, she had a bad representation. Remember, she got caught stealing. And then she came, and then she kind of had to work her way back into NXT, and she started doing really well. And then she started putting up like all these gimmicks on Raw about this, like, transformation. Week after week after week, it was this, when are we going to see this transformation? And once we finally see it, now back to Emma. Like, now I have your attention.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I like it. No, I enjoy it too. I have no idea what the hell they were doing with it.
It's very Chris Jericho. I like it.
Speaking of Chris Jericho, this was a very emotional episode of Raw for a lot of people. I understand. But such a great festival of friendship. It was so awesome. The way they came to the ring and just the way they handled it was outrageous. Kevin Owens handled it great. Jericho was amazing as he always is.
I still have the music that was playing and him with the girls, and his attitude. He's styling, profiling down there. I love Jericho. I don't care.
That's so entertaining. My goodness. And he got thrown into the big TV just like HBK did.
Isn't that a bitter pill to swallow when you see that?
Right? It's come full circle. And I love that KO is the one to do it. They have such great chemistry. Now, that being said, KO is going to be dropping the title, I'm predicting, to Goldberg. And for those of you at home who are keeping tally, I almost got 100% last week. We were just discussing that with the Elimination Chamber. But of course, it had to be Natalya and Nikki to mess it up. And then, of course, the Ziggler match. But who could have called that?
Hey, I screwed up when it came to Luke versus Randy.
Oh, for sure. I don't know what the hell were you thinking. We know who Jericho will face at WrestleMania. It'll probably be Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. Having Goldberg versus Lesnar for the Universal title. Who will Samoa Joe face at WrestleMania?
Well, that's a good question because he just started this really tight storyline with Sami Zayn. But the thing about Sami is I think Sami is either destined for the Andre the Giant or some sort of turmoil match, maybe like a ladder match or something.
I had a Braun Strowman winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal because, I mean, look, they pushed Big Show last year for a while. It was an unnecessary push. They pushed Cesaro for a little while. They gave him Heyman, and then Baron Corbin. Look at what he's doing. I think they should make the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal what King of the Ring used to be. How it elevated Austin's career, how it elevated Owen Hart's career,
Edge's career,
Bret Hart's career.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think that they should bring back the King of the Ring. as a separate pay-per-view. I think that would be really cool if they did that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But make it count. And don't give the winner this cheesy King gimmick. Because it worked with King Booker because it was Booker T. Mm-hmm. You know it was still Booker T, and he was amazing. He was the man. This King Barrett, bah, come on. Or Sheamus, bah, it went to hell. You could do the King of the Ring, just don't give him the cheesy King gimmick. But
back to the Andre the Giant, they should really, as we were talking about, I like the whole, like, the over the top, because that seems more of like the style of kind of like King Kong Bundy, the Andre the Giant, where these big guys are throwing each other over. It's very like old school, and I like that identity. But it's really hard to predict that match because you have the record. You know, I thought the first person who was going to win that match was going to be Big Show. I was wrong.
But back to Joe, you know, he has such a difficult prediction for his opponent at WrestleMania.
I kind of wish it was going to be Sheamus.
You just told me earlier that you think that it's going to be a one-off between Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn, correct?
I believe Joe is going to walk out, yeah.
Yeah, but you think they're only going to fight once.
Yeah. I think, honestly, the only rivalry that Zayn has and will ever have is going to be the one with Kevin, and I think that's destined to happen again. But I think that Joe right now is proving his worth on Raw because he has to set a very high standard for NXT and for himself, considering how long he's been there. AJ had to do it. All of them had to do that. Yeah.
Speaking of AJ Styles, he gave off one hell of a show in that triple threat match on SmackDown with the new WWE Heavyweight Champion, Bray Wyatt.
He's got the whole...
He has everything a champion needs. Look at the guy. A huge fan of Bray Wyatt. The dude's the man. Naomi, she's new champion as well. Both very deserving.
Very funny about Naomi is that I would have never suspected that. What? As far as like, I fell on the Naomi bandwagon very late.
Mm-hmm. I was always a Naomi fan when after she broke off with the Funkadactyls, and she started to get her own gimmick. I liked her. I wasn't as like over with her. I didn't think that she deserved to get a title until, you know, she came up with this new gimmick with the glow. I thought it was really cool, really unique.
The boots, yeah.
Yeah. I hate to deviate from the subject, but back to the World Heavyweight title picture. That Elimination Chamber match was fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the new chamber itself. I find that the only thing that I don't like about the chamber is that they had padding on the ground instead of the steel. But the pods were big enough at the top to have an actual fight up there, which was great. Slamming AJ's head against the plexiglass, Cena falling for, like, that's all stuff that never happened in the other barbaric looking, for lack of a better word, chamber. I think the match went great. The Miz came in and did his little thing. I don't know why he even had that little quick burst of energy. They made him look way better than he is, and you saw how those drop kicks were awful. You can really tell in that watching that chamber how The Miz did not belong in that match, nor does he belong anywhere near that world title. Baron Corbin gave a pretty good showing. He has some potential coming forward into the summertime.
Here's my problem with the Elimination Chamber. I agree with you. I think it's pretty. I like the look of it. It's very
refined. I find it's very modern, sleek, and they have those cornered edges that just make everything seem more advanced.
And I love the theatricality of it. What? Like, what really sold me about it was Bray's entrance, where he went to each individual one and held up his lantern and like looked at him for like 20 seconds and then went to the next one, because that was just like pure like,
oh yes,
oh yeah, charisma. Like, and he didn't even have to say a single thing. But the thing that really,
I like how he laughs too.
But the thing that really gets me about the chamber though is the chamber was originally built as being this carnal, brutish creation that destroys and mangles. And yes, it's not the Attitude Era, and we're not going to see the same blood and carnage that we did back in the day. We were watching old clips of Goldberg smashing through Triple H, RVD
Jericho
destroying Triple H's larynx
Yeah.
doing the 5-star frog splash off the top. It's brutish. It's killer. To me, though, this chamber, although it's pretty and it's refined and it's theatrical, it reminded me of like the McDonald's play place a little bit.
What?
Because it was so short and because it was so square and
Short.
padded.
It was huge. It was tall.
It didn't feel as large as
Oh yeah, it's bigger than the other one. It's as tall as a Hell in a Cell. It looked like
50 feet.
Yeah, it had a lot of room in there.
Felt like the chambers were a little shorter, but anyway, I enjoyed it. I think it's different. I'm always
Because you remember they couldn't stand up on the top of the pods in the old chamber because it would go up. They had to crouch. This one they stood up and they had ample.
Also, in the old days, they could grab with their hands through the cage and pull people's legs and stuff. And that was kind of cool too.
And the beat goes on.
Well, that brings us to our segment, Superstar of the Week.
Right now, yeah!
Now, this week for Raw, I understand that we have a new champion crowned in Bayley. Was one hell of a match with Charlotte, but I'm going to give it to KO. I love the Festival of Friendship. I wish I could give it to Jericho, but they're no longer a thing. I'll give this to Kevin Owens. He's doing this without Jericho now, but I have a feeling Jericho will cost him that Universal title against Goldberg at Fastlane.
I'm going to raise that conversation that you were just about to bring up with Bayley, because Bayley is my Raw Diva of the Week. She took so many bumps. And how long she's been working in WWE development and NXT, working her way, and she took some hell of a bumps from Charlotte, especially that moonsault that everyone thought was pretty, where she almost got fucking kneed in the face.
She didn't go through a television, though.
She didn't, you're right. But still, she looked very legitimate. I mean, I like Kevin, and I think Kevin would have been a firm pick for me. But to me, the two deciding factors was between Bayley and Braun. And Braun, I picked Braun for the last 2 weeks. Braun is on a new mission where he's trying to he's destroying guys his size now. Like, he's done with cruiserweights. That's what made me legitimately think that maybe he was going to become my Raw pick. But Bayley,
You just didn't want to give it to Braun 3 weeks in a row. Say it.
No.
Say it.
No.
Just say it!
No. I wanted to give it to Bayley because I wanted to not only do that, but I felt like a diva, considering how hard they worked at the end of that match, how many bumps she took. We'll see. We'll see how long this reign lasts, but I think she was very well deserving of it.
Oh, did you have to say Reign?
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Roman Reigns. What's going on with Reigns? What do you think? You think he's going to overthrow Strowman at Fastlane?
Hell no.
No?
Hell no.
I don't think they should do such a thing.
Braun is too legitimate right now.
That would kill his momentum huge.
Very much.
So you think Roman would do what for WrestleMania? You don't think he's going against The Undertaker? I mean, if Undertaker is alive, is he alive? I don't remember the last time. I don't want to talk shit about him and then my lights go off when we hear
I think Undertaker went out the window a while back with that hip surgery, and now we're hearing about Cena leaving for 6 months.
Woo!
And that he was my pick to go against Undertaker, which makes me really think that Undertaker's probably not even going to pop up at WrestleMania.
All right, well, that just about does it here for the 10 Count Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah!
Be sure to like and subscribe to Channel D Productions and go take a look at those other videos on there. They'll make you laugh. We'll be coming out with new and original content as time goes by. And be sure to check back weekly for this podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Hit the bell, Kyle.